Now, since the world is in a position that everything is in reach for everyone, basically, whatever they want, that means it's not temptation, just it's a really in your home, everything, and every pleasure is in front of you, and it's a matter that whatever you want to do, you can do. You don't have to be. I'm speaking about all the corrupted stuff that people years of they advertised about it and made people look at things in their own way even. And I will show you two things a little bit to get the idea what's been the wrong way made people corrupted. And not necessarily you have to agree with me, but I just give you open-minded, and later we know we're going to cover all the ground that you're going to speak to me, that I will manage to show you that all the details, how you look the thing the right way. That means the right way how God wanted it, and this is the really true way, and this is really not to feel forced and just not abused. Feel that you know exactly what's going on, that you are a part of God's creation. That means you are a part with God. Like here, the name of Rabbi Rothstein, he spoke the idea, he said that before we created the world, God created the world, because everybody sitting together with God, and they consulted how to make the world. So basically, the idea when you say all the people, all the V'amech kulam tzadikim, the idea all of us are righteous, our nation, V'amech, that means you nations, yeah, you nation. I will go into details about the difference between non-Jews and Jews, but not now. Basically, we sat with God and we planned our life. So you manage to know that how you really planned your life with God, seriously. So I will go, this is a very important point, that means we have to understand everything. Basically, it goes further than this. They have YouTube, all the gadgets, everything. A very interesting thing. To really enjoy your life is to be yourself. And then you don't miss nothing. You know everything. You don't miss anything. So I will go about the journey. Some things, situations that happen to people that the only way, if you understand it, when we speak about what we're understanding, that means we have to know everything all the way. Technically, that means if you know that dead will be alive, that means you have to understand it and sense it. We speak about sensing it. I will speak generally stuff, and then we're going to start, God willing, we're going to start learning my mom of the Rebbe, of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, that he's teaching us how to really to get the kindness of God in your life, and above kindness. How God becomes good. And you guys will think, oh, there's difference between somebody's kind to you and good to you. Yes, good is a very powerful word. And they always speak about spirituality, everything's conversations that look to you very superstitious or something not graspful, it's reality and it's common sense. We'll go with details how it's common sense in a fascinating way that not that I'm going to convince you. Just you're going to give you the tools how you by yourself can do it, and just stop in your life and think how you operate, and there you'll know everything. And there you'll know yourself, you'll know everybody. And I will go with you in details, and you're not going to believe. You're going to see heaven on earth and more than this. You're going to have a real relationship, a not confusing relationship with yourself, with God, with your family, and it's going to be just going and going in a fascinating way. Since I work with youth a lot, in the beginning we were working with youth, I will tell you the stories, and God willing, I will try to ask some people that I helped, that they will speak from their point of view, how they saw it. And I will tell you very interesting things that I think some youth, everybody has to know about it. And it's not the idea of elaborating about it. Some subjects you speak about it one time and you don't repeat. And people they notice the whole idea. So, but since we make it in a video, it's you also, not the idea to elaborate about it. So, but the information has to be revealed. Like everything is today in a revealed way. And when you know it can hurt you, or it can gain, or you can lose, then you just notice what things you're going to elaborate and what things you're not going to elaborate. So I tell you a very interesting very interesting things what I'm going to start with, and then we're going to start these things what every youth have to know it. This is a conversation, and it triggers the boys 15 years old, 16 to get the idea, and they have it even younger, a little bit. I don't know the age exactly, but it depends on the maturity of the person. And I will show you. I will speak about a scenario. I had with Rabbi Hecht, rest in peace, Rabbi J.J. Hecht. He was a very good-hearted man. I have a lot of experiences with him to help guys, to help people. So he said, Yoskeh, let's open a Chabad house. I said, I want to open a Chabad house. So he said, no, let's open a Chabad house in Eastern Parkway in 824 with Hadar Torah. And you opened like a club, Chabad house. The guys used to come there, hang out. Boys with a pool table, I don't remember, not a pool table, but he had some things to entertain some boys. And we used to speak to boys. And then get them in a direction and if they talk about things, people, when you talk about something, you make less mistakes because you're aware of things. So a very interesting thing. One time I see a group of guys come in, and the group of guys come in, and a very interesting, and I see a boy, looks very nice and pure, a good boy. And in his eyes you see he doesn't know what to do. Should he goes with his friends, go fool around with his friend, hang out, or because he has to experience, he has to get married, he has to get to know the girls, he has to get, otherwise how he's going to get married? Everyone tells him, you have to know, you have to do these things and these things to get to know about life. It's a part of it, you're getting married, you have to know in a corrupted way, to meet some girls and everything. So, because this is the corrupted way, the wrong way, but it's a very interesting thing. We are now holding in a position that you understand the common sense of the good way how God created, because we have time and space in our brain and to sense the whole idea. So what's happened? I approached the boy, I said, listen, there's a very interesting thing God created. And this is of the name of Rabbi Chaim Roitbleit. I heard it from one of his students. He told me Rabbi Chaim Roitbleit told him this, but not elaborated about the idea of wasting sperm. So just to give you the idea, and then we're going to continue about it. So he said, I told him like this: there's a limb in the body. The only limb in the body is satisfied. He becomes hungry. If you make him hungry, he's satisfied. And that's Hashem invented this idea. Not like all the limbs, like regular limbs. Usually when you eat something, you're satisfied. You're not hungry. If you're hungry, you want to eat. And this goes the opposite. If you satisfy it, it becomes hungry. If you make it hungry, it's satisfied. This is the nature. I normally I had to elaborate in details. I don't know if it's appropriate to elaborate in details. But, so I tell the boy, you don't have to practice to marry a lady, a wife. Why? I told him, it goes like this. Yaakov Avinu, Reuven his name is Reshis Eini, the first sperm. That means Yaakov didn't practice it. He didn't have to know girlfriends. He got married, this is the first sperm, and he was happily married. What it shows you like this, I told the guy, first of all, anyways, you're getting married to one girl. So every going out, you're wasting your time. And another thing I told him, because since the nature of the limb, you're satisfied, becomes hungry, that means you're not going to manage to study, to do nothing. You're going to get carried on in the wrong direction. But when you're going to make him hungry, that means you're not going to be involved in it. And it goes in a deeper manner. Whatever happens to a person as a youth, so you continue. If you made a mistake, don't dwell on it. The opposite. The idea, you continue, and this is later in life you understand why Hashem made you situations and why you decide situations. But while it's happened, when a person does a mistake, he doesn't have to dwell on it. Just continue. In this matter of mistake, I speak about the subject what we are relating. So what's happened is like this. Then a very interesting thing is, I was one time in Tel Aviv. A family wanted to speak to a boy who's 14, very high. His IQ is very high, and he tells me this word: "Ah, you religious people are so smart. Wow, you're so smart, and you don't hang up with girls. Because what's happened, if you marry a girl for life, it makes sense that you should keep away from the girl a long time, wherever you go, stick to it. And another angle, he said, the most angle, he said, when you get to go with girls, then you are not know the value of marriage, because you think a girlfriend, you are getting misunderstood about the concept of marriage. Because what's happened, you know girls think you know already, and the whole approach of knowing is the wrong way. Like even goes about money. Like the time from the hippies, all of them parents were rich, and what's happened, the children was sick and tired of the money that the parents shoved on them, so they went to want to live in the Rocky Mountains. They wanted to do it by themselves. So I speak about the idea, listen, and it goes further than this, what I speak to you. So that means you don't gain nothing, basically. If you want to get married, you don't gain nothing by just going around with the guys. So I tell this specific boy, you go study, do the right thing for yourself, and don't make but don't make a whole fuss whatever with your body. Just continue about life. And what's happened is, the limb is like this is the nature of the limb. You make him hungry, become satisfied, you're not going to really pay attention. You don't have to check yourself that you are fully functioning better even than all your friends. And this is a fact. Years later, and at that day he went to learn computers, the whole story. Basically, years later, I saw him, and I told him before that you're going to find a beautiful life, but Hashem chose you, and it's going to be phenomenal, you have a wonderful life. Years later, 15 years later, I see him on Flatbush Avenue, and he says, Masbior in Hebrew, he says, Masbior ha'erev marivo saveh. You satisfy him. He's hungry, and you hunger means God satisfied. So, and so far, and this I can say the name, you have a guy, his name is Daniel Shabi. I told him this story. I hope he remembers it. He became too old. Because Daniel Shabi has a very famous word. He said, he showed the life. He said, we are 70, this is your life is. And this is off. We are 50, and now we are 60. For him it's like so I hope his mind is in the right mind when he remembers. I told him this story about this boy, and became, so he said, Yoskeh, I want to come to see him. So he went specially to New Jersey, and we saw he's married, happily married, a beautiful wife, nice children, very successful, unbelievable. And I hope I'm going to ask him permission, because sometimes when somebody tells you some things, it gives you a big turn on, that means it's reality. This is step number one. I want to tell another thing about youth. This is the general knowledge. I will get a little bit about adults, married people, how they should deal with things, about marriage, because I will go in elaborating about this subject a little more, because even I wanted to speak about something very important, but I learned from somebody, Ashgocha Protis. It was his name is not Jewish, his name is Kel, very interesting. And I was flying with him in the plane, and I saw he's an open-minded person. He was offered to work. He came to New York to meet a hospital, because he had to make a program for the hospital. They should be more approachable to the patients. So Kyle told me like this. He's driving motorcycles. It's very interesting. He lives in Utah. He said, motorcycle rider told him, when you are in a situation with a motorcycle, the only thing what you have to do is very powerful, he said. You have to decide if you stick with the motorcycle, you stay on the motorcycle, or you let it go. He said, if you're hesitant, you die. That's what he told him. So Carl told me, I was driving from Argentina, Venezuela, and I got carried away by the view. I was driving, suddenly I'm near a cliff a little bit. And I see, and then I remember what the guy said. I decided to stick on the motorcycle. I stood, I said I went down, and what's happened is, I find myself flying out of the motorcycle. I flew out of the motorcycle, and what's really happened, it's amazing. I wasn't hurt so much. I was some scratches, everything was perfect. So I want to continue this conversation we've spoken now about marriage, and to think about the idea, whole idea of the things what person has in his body, the same conversation what we continue. So maybe we're going to continue about it, not now, because I want to speak about married people. In logic, you married a lady and she's going to be 90 years old or 7 years old. And now she's going to become beautiful. I will go in this angle. Then you understand what you do. I will show you what you do now. Everything we do is a really association to your life. And it's affecting everything what you do, how physically it affects the way you think and the way you see things. And how can your wife be in a physical, beautiful way forever? It's a physical thing. And I will go in the other direction because some people think, okay, there's some things I don't have to understand because I'm not going to get it, because my wife is 85, you can tell me she's beautiful, I'm out. So, the main thing you should know, everything can be understood and sensed and enjoyed. It's a real thing. God is reality, and we'll continue about it in the next episode, like we call it. No, I will have the next conversation. And all the blessings to you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful day.